You have to understand the kind of engineers you give your projects to. There are certain projects that certain engineers should not do because of their level of experience. An engineer that practices inside Lekki or inside Abuja, those engineers have a lot of experiences. You don't see a house design in Ikoyi or in Guzape in Abuja and then you carry that kind of design and call one of the engineers in your village and give him. They will make a mistake. It's not because they cannot build a house, it's because then you get to that point where you think, okay, I want to build my house back home in Nigeria. Then you call up one of your family members. Let's call this family member of yours John. And you say, John, go and get a land. John gets a land. Then after 2 months or 3 months, it dawns on you that you spent over 50 million naira and the house has not even passed the first decking. And that's when you realize you've made a mistake. Some of the people you think are humble now are just humble because they are broke, because they are poor. It is when you give them money that you are going to see the real side of them. Stop sending money to your family members. Stop sending money to your friends to help you build houses. Most of you, to pay money for small processes is an issue. When you are in this building process, you have to understand that certain small expenses will come in between. You have to pay those monies to get a professional service. Some of you have people back home that are taking care of your projects for you. You don't even ask them how they are doing. You don't even give them anything. Some of them out of hardship. The country is very hard. So out of hardship, they start stealing from you. So you live in the US, you live in the UK, you live in South Africa, you live in Kenya. You do your business outside of the African shores. And you want to build back home in Nigeria. How can you do that safely? How can you build back home without getting scammed? And because of this channel and a few other platforms we utilize to work for Nigerians in the diaspora, I could write a book about experiences, about people's experiences that I have heard that they have shared with me concerning building back home in Nigeria, how they were scammed. But sometimes if I look into these complaints specifically, there are a lot of mistakes I see repeating or reoccurring over and over again. And so let's talk about how to avoid these mistakes and some of the mistakes that even you that lives over there makes. So let's look at it this way. You spend 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years living abroad and hustling. Then you get to that point where you think, okay, I want to build my house back home in Nigeria. I want to have a place, maybe a retirement home or whatever. Then you call up one of your family members. Let's call this family member of yours John. And you say, John, I want to build a house back home in Nigeria. And you say, John, go and get a land. John gets a land. Get an architect. John gets an architect. They do the drawing. You say, John, go and look for an engineer. John goes to look for an engineer. And then they start building. Then after 2 months or 3 months, it dawns on you that you spent over 50 million naira and the house has not even passed the first decking. Maybe it's a duplex, for instance. And that's when you realize you've made a mistake, or mistakes have been happening, or somebody is actually playing with your money and you don't know about it. Let's understand one thing. It's not like I'm saying that your family members are bad or they are wicked. But here's the thing. Somebody like John, that's your family member, that does not have any experience with money. John has never had 10 million naira in his account. Or even if it comes, maybe somebody just sent it and took it away. John has never made 5 million naira before. John does not have experience in handling money. And then suddenly you start sending 20 million, 30 million, 50 million into John's account. And then John all of a sudden has access to all this money that he does not have experience in managing. That is where the issues start coming about. Because you see, when you give people access to certain amounts of money, sometimes they tend to forget their home training. Sometimes their conscience leaves them. And then you start seeing a different side of them that you've never seen before when the money was not there. You see, there's an organization I used to work for. When we have a new staff, like maybe an accountant or something, what my boss would do is that he will keep carrying this accountant to meetings. Maybe he's having shareholders meetings. There are meetings where he wants to strike a deal, all these kind of meetings. He will carry that accountant with him to sit beside him. You know what I realize is that some of these people, even though they are quote-unquote accountants, they've not had access to a certain amount of money. And so once they hear some kind of figures, some of them, you see the confusion in their face like, can somebody make this kind of money? So there was this new accountant then. One day the boss took her out to negotiate a deal. And when she heard the boss offering the people 12 billion naira for a particular project or a particular product, you could visibly see the sweat almost dripping from her face. You know, she didn't even know how to write 1 billion on paper in figures. One day I had to ask my boss, I say, why do you always carry these people along for all these high profile meetings when you employ them newly? You know what he told me? He said, they need to have money experience. Some of them just need to sit down where they will hear a certain amount of money being mentioned that you are paying to somebody or somebody is paying to you, so that you just disvirgin their mind. As I am, there's a certain amount of money that I will do a deal and they send it into my account. Because I have experience with managing a lot of money, I will not touch that money. I might leave it there for 2 months, 3 months. trying to figure out the right things to do, because once you have access to money, if you are not careful, you start spending it stupidly. And that is what happens when you carry your hard-earned $50,000 and start sending to somebody that does not have any experience. For some of the family members, it's not like they are wicked. An engineer will say, I want 10 bags of cement. They won't even scrutinize to see whether 10 bags of cement is going to, or what they are going to do with it. Because they have access to 50 million in their account. Okay, engineer, how many bags of cement you say you want? I want 100 bags. So yeah, carry money, go buy. Some of them will not even follow the engineer and go and find out if the engineer is actually buying that bag of cement for 10,000 naira or not. Because you see, in construction, even an amount as small as 100 naira is a lot of money. So just imagine you are buying 1,000 bags of cement. So 100 naira times 1,000 bags of cement, that's a lot of money that would have done something else in the project. And then for those of you that are unfortunate to have family members that are greedy, once you start sending them that kind of money, they will look at it and say, this my brother where they stay abroad, didn't get money. For this my brother to be able to send 50 million naira to me, that I should build a house for him. From there, they start building their own house. Some of them will start buying cars. Engineer will say, I need 100 bags of cement. They will tell you that the engineer needs 80 bags. And then you will carry the money and send to the person. Some of the people you think are humble now are just humble because they are broke, because they are poor. It is when you give them money that you are going to see the real side of them. Stop sending money to your family members. Stop sending money to your friends to help you build houses. Stop sending money to your mother to help you build a house. Don't think because it's your mother, your mother cannot cheat you. I even had a case recently when somebody was living abroad, sending money to his mother back home to be buying properties for him. And the mother was actually buying the properties, yes. So when this guy came back from abroad to Nigeria and said, okay, I've retired, let me come back and continue the rest of my life here, he now found out that, yes, the mother buy the properties, she bought them. The properties were in her name. And she dared him to do his worst. He could not do anything. He just had to pack himself, go back abroad, and promise himself never to come back again. If you want to build back home, contact an engineering company. Work with them. Rather, this your brother or this your trusted family member, let the person be there for you as an eye. That's what we do. If you want to work with us, we will tell you straight up. In fact, if you are a brother, you want to give us a job to do. If you don't have a trusted person around that should supervise us, we might not do the job, because we want somebody that will be there, even 2, 3, or 5 people, so that let them be seeing what we are doing. If we are telling you that we are using 5 bags of cement, let these people also see that we are using 5 bags of cement. If we are not using 5 bags of cement, let them report back to you to see. That is how transparency works. Don't carry money and give people that don't have experience in managing a project. They don't have experience in managing money. They don't have experience in managing people, and you want them to build a house for you. It always ends up in fight and regret. Another reason why they dupe some of you when building back home is because some of you are actually very stingy. Some of you, the people that work for you, you don't take care of them. This is an experience I've had with some of our clients. Some of them I've had to advise them and say, please sir, do like this, do like this. If you want these people that are taking care of your project to do well for you. Some of you, you are stingy towards your engineers, towards your family members. You don't even take care of them. I'm not saying go and give them money. I'm not saying be dashing them money or be doing Father Christmas with your money. But there are certain things that you need to know how to do in order for people to give you what you want. Some of you are even stingy with the entire process. Imagine somebody will reach out to me and will say, okay, my site is in, let's say, Enugu, for instance. Not just inside Enugu, maybe in one of those communities. And I told this particular client, I said, that is a long distance. In order for us to send 3 of our engineers there, you have to provide 200,000 naira so that they can either drive down or they take public transport down to the places. They don't know the road and it's very far. And transport right now in Nigeria is super expensive. Let's say from Lagos to Port Harcourt now, it's like 50,000 naira. Sometimes the money is not even enough. I just asked for that money so that we just see how serious you are. And this particular client yesterday said, I can't pay you to go and do a site inspection. I'm going to give you the job. And I said, sir, you're not paying me. You are paying for logistics. I can't use my money and pay transport for 3 of my guys to go to your site and spend like 4 or 5 hours on the road. Or I drive for 4 or 5 hours to your site in Enugu and go and do inspection for free. And he said, if I'm not going to send my people down to Enugu to go and do inspection for him, I should forget it. And that's how we ended on that note. Most of you, to pay money for small processes is an issue. When you are in this building process, you have to understand that certain small expenses will come in between. You have to pay those monies to get a professional service. Some of you have people back home that are taking care of your projects for you. You don't even ask them how they are doing. You don't even give them anything. Some of them, out of hardship, the country is very hard. So out of hardship, they start stealing from you. There was this particular guy some time ago that was doing a project back home. He had this cousin of his that was supervising the project. Now, the cousin was not in charge of purchasing materials or anything. He was just there to give us logistical support and everything. But we noticed that the guy started backsliding a little bit. If you call him, he go, "Oh, guy engineer, I beg, I go where I go work, I go find bread for my children. Okay, engineer, make una tell the man, say, I dey come." He was just everywhere. He was not focusing on the supervision that the brother that was abroad was asking him to do for him. And so one day I asked the client, I said, "Sir, do you pay this guy?" He said, "No, he does not pay him." I said, "How then is he working for you?" He said, "It's my brother and it's my family. If I finish the house, I'll give him, he will enjoy it too. The house is for all of us." And I said, "No, sir, that is wrong. If this guy has a family, he has a wife, he has kids. If you want him to focus on this project for you, then you have to place him on a monthly salary." Let's assume now that you are not working with engineers like us that are very sincere. You're working with some other engineers. Before this guy will go and come, sometimes some bags of your cement will be missing, some woods will be missing, some rods will be missing. The people on site will sell them. So I told him, I said, "Listen, you are doing a $150,000 project. I think what you should be doing for this your cousin, at least $300 every month, give him." That is a lot of money in Nigeria. That's like 500,000 naira. He listened to me. He placed the guy on 500,000 naira salary every month, which is around $250, $300. And you needed to see the dedication that this guy was putting in. You know, he was now supervising. He was everywhere. "Engineer, when I never come site today, giving the brother constant update, even though we had a WhatsApp group that all of us belonged inside." Take care of the people that are working for you. And now this brings me to the next point, which is almost the same as this one: hiring quack engineers. You see this particular point there? If you know the stories and you know the things that I have seen in this practice of clients leaving professional engineers and hiring quack engineers because they are looking for cheap price. Because it's cheap does not mean it's very good, and because it's very expensive does not mean it's very good as well. But you have to look for somebody that has a track record, and then you work with that person based on the record. Let me tell you two stories that happened recently. This particular guy reached out to us and said he wanted to build a particular kind of house that he saw on the channel. He liked it. He wanted to repeat the same thing. We said, "Okay, no problem." He paid and we gave him a bill of quantity and everything. He said the bill of quantity was too expensive. He looked for somebody else that charged him lower. And for several months, we didn't hear from him. So one day, Engineer Desmond called me and said, "Guess who called me now?" I said, "Who?" He said, "It's so and so and so client." I said, I thought we had moved forward from him. He said, "There's a problem." And I said, "What is the problem?" That he wants us to go and inspect the house again. They already started the foundation. They have filled it and everything. They were about to raise the house to the first decking. Now the foundation is sagging in. So Engineer Desmond had to drive himself to the location of the site. Got there and saw it. The whole foundation was caving in, and he was now calling us. "Okay, what do we do? How are we going to rescue this and everything?" So Engineer Desmond asked him, "What happened, sir? Why didn't you go with us again?" He said, "You people are too expensive and everything." And guess what? We don't have to demolish everything and start the entire house afresh. And now all the money that has gone into those materials, maybe 25 million or 30 million, is all gone. So sometimes hiring a good engineer is going to save you a lot of money. Or is it another recent one that happened? The client went ahead and used some people to raise the house and everything. You know how an engineer is building the house? It is you that is the layman that is not looking at it and say, "Engineer, this house is not straight too." I don't think, okay, you people should leave the site, go away. I don't think you people know what you're doing. And this one has already passed first decking. When the client now came back to us that he said we were too expensive, and when we went to access the situation physically, we had to demolish the entire thing and start again afresh. And that is a project that millions had gone in already. A right engineer is going to save you plenty of money. A right engineer is going to build your house without headaches. You have to understand the kind of engineers you give your projects to. There are certain projects that certain engineers should not do because of their level of experience. So you have to look at an engineer's experience before you hire the person. An engineer that practices inside Lekki or inside Abuja, maybe in highbrow areas like Maitama and the rest of them, those engineers have a lot of experiences. So if you want to build that kind of house that you are seeing in Maitama or inside Lekki or inside Ikoyi, those are the caliber of engineers you should go for. You don't see a house design in Ikoyi or in Guzape in Abuja and then you carry that kind of design and call one of the engineers in your village and give him and say, "Build this house." They will make a mistake. There are no two ways about it. It's not because they cannot build a house, it's because they don't have experience in building that kind of a house. So mistakes are bound to come in. You see, one particular time, this particular client of ours, he reached out to us. He said he wants to build a house. He wants the flat roof, the Lekki design, as we call it in Nigeria, and we agreed. And then one of his uncle now told him that they have an engineer in the village that is like their superstar engineer there. He knows how to build everything. They now gave the guy the house to build. He started building the house. After he finished building the house started leaking. I mean, it was leaking so bad that the POP in the house was caving in. That's when the guy now had to reach out to us again to say, hey, please, you guys should come and rescue this situation. The way we handle some things and make sure that we handle them properly is sometimes we have to sublet some of those things. Like for instance, our roofing, most times we have to call the companies to come. These companies would come and take the measurement, and then they are going to send in their engineers to come and install the roof for us. After they finish installing the roof, they are going to give us warranty. 50 years warranty is what they will give us. And peradventure something goes wrong, or we notice a leakage, all we need to do is call them and say, we are seeing leakages here. They will send their engineers from Lagos, they will come by themselves and fix it. But for some engineers, they will decide to do it by themselves. They have people in their team that can do those things. But the thing is that for some of these workers, once they have done those things, they've gone. No matter how you call them, they will refuse to come back. Even though they will come back, but they will stress the hell out of you before they will come back and fix those things. So it is better you work with professionals that even 10 years later, you notice an issue, you call them, because they'll give you a warranty card, give you everything, give you warranty documentation. That is how we handle some of those issues, so you don't make a mistake. But for some of you, you look at this whole process and say, I will spend a lot of money, I don't have money to waste, so let me just use my engineer, John. He knows how to do it. John, come and fix the roof. Is it the ones that we see sometimes that water starts pouring through the wall and entering the house through the window? A lot of things. You just have to be careful. If you hire a quack engineer, the money you are trying to save by hiring a quack engineer, you end up spending that money 2 or 3 times somewhere in the process. Either the engineer will make a mistake that will make you pursue them and call another engineer that will demolish that thing that they've done and redo it again, and you spend double. There's a lot more I'll share with you in upcoming videos, but for now, that's all I have to share with you. My name is Kingsley. This is the building phase engineer. Desmond is not here right now. He's at the site. He's working. I think I have time today, so that's why I'm sitting down to record videos for you. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I can still make a video like this answering your questions. All right, thank you so much. I'll catch you again in the next one.